Hey, welcome. Today, we're diving into one of the most urgent issues out there, sustainability. But we're going to look at it from a different angle, not just as a crisis to be managed, but as, get this, what might be the single biggest business opportunity our species has ever seen. All right, let's get into it. I want to start with just one thing, a credit card. Now, what in the world could a single credit card have to do with sustainability or the future of business? Just let that sit for a second. Well, believe it or not, that's the equivalent weight of microplastic that most of us are now consuming every single year. Yeah, the environmental crisis isn't just out there anymore in the oceans or the air. It's literally inside us. And when a problem gets that personal, you realize we have to rethink, well, pretty much everything. And that rethinking, it has to start with the very purpose of business itself. For decades, the goal was really simple. But as we're about to see, it was also dangerously short-sighted. You're looking at a huge shift in thinking right here. On the left, you've got the old-school idea, championed by folks like Milton Friedman. A company's one and only job is to make as much money as possible for its shareholders, period. But on the right, you see the new goal, one born out of pure necessity, creating sustainable value. And that means creating value not just for shareholders, but for everyone and everything a business touches. And look, if you need any proof that the old model is totally broken, just think back to the 2008 financial crisis. Banks got so obsessed with short-term profits that they ended up destroying value for absolutely everyone, their clients, their shareholders, the entire global economy. It was a painful lesson that you just can't sacrifice long-term health for short-term gain. So, okay, what's the alternative then? Well, it turns out nature already gave us the perfect blueprint. Just think about a place like the Masai Mara. It's this beautiful, perfectly closed loop. Lions eat zebras eat grass, and when those lions eventually die, their bodies are broken down by insects which then feed the grass. See? It's a perfect circle. Nothing, absolutely nothing is wasted. That's the model. Okay, but let's be real. Applying that beautiful circular idea from nature to a massive modern business, that is incredibly complicated. And the first step is you have to understand where your company's real impact is even coming from. So experts break a company's entire environmental footprint down into three main buckets. Scope 1, that's the easy stuff, the direct impact from your own factories and offices. Scope 2 is upstream, so think of your suppliers, the folks who provide your materials. And then there's Scope 3, which is downstream. This is everything that happens after a product leaves your control, when a customer uses it, washes it, and eventually gets rid of it. So here's a question for you. Looking at these three, which one do you think is the biggest source of a company's total ecological impact? The direct stuff, the suppliers, or the customers? The answer is kind of shocking, and it really shows you the massive scale of the challenge we're facing. It's Scope 3, and it's not even a close race. How big are we talking? Well, for a whole lot of companies, we're talking about this number, a full 90%. The former CEO of Timberland actually saw this firsthand. He realized a staggering 90% of his company's entire footprint wasn't from making boots. It came from what customers did with them after they bought them. And this is the absolute core of the problem. The biggest chunk of a company's impact is completely outside of its direct control. So how in the world do you solve a problem you don't directly control? You can't. You have to change the entire system. You have to go from thinking in a straight line to thinking in a circle. For the past 100 years or so, our whole industrial model has been brutally simple and brutally linear. We take resources from the earth, we make a product, and then we and our customers just waste whatever's left over. It's a one-way ticket straight to the landfill. The answer, the elegant solution, is the circular model. And you know, this isn't some brand new futuristic idea. It's borrowed from nature, and frankly, from our own history. It's built on three principles we all know: reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's like we're going back to the future, right? Using some old school wisdom to fix a very modern crisis. Okay, so this all sounds great for the planet, but how do you actually make money from it? Well, that's the exciting part. This whole shift isn't just some environmentalist dream. It's actually unlocking a completely revolutionary new business model. And hey, don't just take it from me. The World Economic Forum has called the circular economy the biggest business opportunity our species has ever seen. The takeaway here is massive. Sustainability isn't a cost you have to bear. It's a goldmine of opportunity. And the engine driving this whole opportunity is a concept called product as a service. Now, the idea itself is actually pretty simple. People don't always want to own a product. They just want the service that product provides. So in this model, the company keeps ownership and just leases the service to the customer. So why is this such a game changer? Because it brilliantly solves that huge Scope 3 problem by design. The company is now responsible for the product's entire life, from cradle to grave and back again. And this isn't some fantasy. It's already happening. Take Michelin. They don't just sell tires to their big trucking fleet customers anymore. Instead, they lease them, tires as a service. And when the tires wear out, Michelin takes them back to be recycled. It's a win-win. Or how about Rolls-Royce? They've been doing this for decades with their jet engines. Airlines don't buy those massive engines. They pay for power by the hour. Rolls-Royce owns, maintains, and eventually replaces the engine. It's a service. And it's not just heavy industry. Even a fast fashion giant like H&M is getting in on the act. They've experimented with these wild in-store machines that take your old sweater, break it down into yarn, and literally knit you a new one right there. I mean, that is circularity right there in the store, in action. So, you see, this isn't science fiction. This is the new reality of business, happening right now. So, let's bring this all home. Let's boil it down into a clear, actionable playbook that any leader can use. All right, here it is. It really comes down to these 5 steps. Number 1, you have to anchor sustainability right into the core purpose of your company. It can't be an afterthought. Number 2, build a culture of constant learning and curiosity. Next up, 3, take what's called virtual ownership of the whole value chain. That means acting like you're responsible for scopes 1, 2, and 3. 4, you have to reinvent your business model from the ground up to be circular. And finally, number 5, use all of that as a launchpad to start reimagining your products as services. And that brings us to one final thought, a question for you. I want you to just look around you, wherever you are right now. Think about the things you own, your car, your phone, maybe even the clothes you're wearing. What product in your life could become a service? Because the answers to that one question, they might just hold the blueprint for the next generation of truly world-changing businesses. Thanks so much for joining me.